the drovers to associate with, and it was illegal for white men to have relationships with Aboriginal women. Written in 1983 by Ted Egan, The Drover's Boy is set in the 1920s, at a time when an Aborigines' death would be barely noticed by the white community. The story of the song is based on what was a common situation where a stockman or drover had to hide his Aboriginal partner by disguising her as a drover's boy. Ted Egan has described this as a nudge, nudge, wink, wink situation where, yes, the women were passed off as boys and given names like Johnnie and Paddy and Tommy and Billy and so on. But most people would have known what was going on, and it was just a token way out of observing the law. Do you all know of Ted Egan?
Oh, yeah.
Ted Egan's Edward Joseph Egan, 1932 to 2025, so he just died last year, was a prolific writer and performer of contemporary Australian folk songs. He served as Administrator of the Northern Territory from 2003 to 2007. In his early career with the Department of Aboriginal Affairs, he was mainly in the bush and engaged in jobs like stockwork and crocodile hunting, while employed as a patrol officer and later as a teacher at bush schools. He was awarded the Order of Australia in the 1991 Honours List for services to the Aboriginal people and for an ongoing contribution to the literary heritage of Australia through song and verse. He wrote this song as a tribute to the Aboriginal stockwomen, and the last verse expresses the hope that their enormous contribution to the Australian pastoral industry might someday be given the recognition it deserves. We've actually heard Ted Egan singing this song at Victorian Folk Society in Ringwood, and his instrument is a box the beer comes in, and you tune it by drinking all the beer first. And so just sort of enters in this box.
We also had one with the beer pots.
Oh yes, what do you call those?
I can't think of the
Lagerfeuer.
Lagerfeuer,
Yes.
that's right. And that jingle, yeah.
Now, I have sung this song before, but I'm going to read it today. It's just as good as a poem, I think. They couldn't understand why the drover cried as they buried the drover's boy. For the drover had always seemed so hard to the men in his employ. A bolting horse and a stirrup lost, and the drover's boy was dead. The shovelled dirt, the mumbled word, and his back to the road ahead, and forget about the drover's boy. And they couldn't understand why the drover cut a lock of the dead boy's hair. He put it in the band of his battered old hat as they watched him standing there. He told them, "Take the cattle on, I'll sit with the boy a while." A silent thought, a pipe to smoke, and it's ride another mile and forget about the drover's boy. And they couldn't understand why the drover and the boy always camped so far away. For the tall white man and the slim black boy had never had much to say. The boy would be gone at break of dawn, tail the horses, carry on, while the drover roused the sleeping men. Daylight hit the road again, and follow the drover's boy, follow the drover's boy. In the Camberwell pub, they talked about the death of the drover's boy. They drank their rum with the stranger who'd come from the Kimberley run, Fitzroy, and he told of the massacre in the west. Barest details, guess the rest. Shoot the bucks, grab a gin, cut her hair, break her in, and call her a boy, the drover's boy. Call her a boy, the drover's boy. So when they build that Stockman's Hall of Fame and they talk about the droving game, remember the girl who was bedmate and guide, rode with the drover side by side, watched the bullocks, flayed the hide, faithful wife but never a bride, bred his sons for the cattle runs. But don't weep for the drover's boy, don't mourn for the drover's boy, but don't forget the drover's boy.